Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill, and oh my goodness, isn't there some lens flare here? Let me see if I can fix that. Uh, can we point it a little this way? I need to hood that or something. Oh well, we're just gonna deal with a little bit of the sun pointing directly into the camera for the moment. Um, focus. All right. So what we're doing today is a code roast. And I've got our absentee Vishnu on the line. The time right now, it's 11:30 a.m. for me. So that's the time for me. So we're gonna do this little code roast, code review, code roast, whatever. But I don't know exactly what I'm doing. What are we trying to look for here? So we've got an image to PDF. So basically, we got some utility that's going to embed an image into a PDF. So create a page, and the page is just okay. So it could be any of these things. It probably shouldn't be all three of these things, but yeah, let's create 3 pages, image to PDF, sizes A4. Who uses that? Pipe, create write stream. Actually, by the way, you should not do this. You need to bring this up and create the write stream above here, and then you want to attach your air handler onto it. I can't. There was some other event that doesn't necessarily propagate. I think it was the close event. Okay, wait. Where is this at? Where? Oh, it's the reflection. It's the reflection from the desk. I think I can fix that. Here's a book. There we go. Look at that. Reflection from the desk solved. Okay, now I get a little bit better picture quality. I'm looking in the chat. Yeah, it was because there's a glare. That's why there was problem. Very 2007 camera vibes. Yeah, that's what we're going for. We love it. It's the only camera vibes we want. All right, so Vishnu, tell me what is up? What's going on here? What are we reviewing this for? What are we trying to do? All right, we got a main.js, a package.json. That's great. I love it when there's very little going on. All right, PDF kit. What the heck is PDF kit, and why is it only at v.13? I'm going to go check this out real quick. See what the heck PDF kit is. All right. Brickleblum. Okay, so it's somebody else reposting somebody else's code. Is that what I'm to understand? Did somebody hijack this person's repo? All right, what is this based on? Probably says right up here. JavaScript PDF generation library. So entirely JavaScript? Really JavaScript? 14 releases? How many years has this been going? Okay, look, dude. Look. When you've got a project going since 2014, at some point you have to declare V1. All right? You can't wait 100 years to produce V1. You need to produce, in fact, you should just go straight to V14 at this point, or V13. You can't do that. You can't just have the balls to tag something as V1 at some point. You got 500,000 weekly downloads, and you don't have the chicharrones to V1 this? Okay, that's who we're roasting right now. All right, but I guess this looks good. Getting started, paper sizes, vector sizes. Okay, cool. All right. And, of course, you're not a real developer unless you put flippin' emojis in your commit messages. Get out of here, you young punks. Oh no, Yarn. There's your problem. You're using Yarn. Don't use Yarn. It'll screw up your dependencies. Haven't you heard? Everybody that uses Yarn complains about dependency issues. And then the only way that they can fix them is by using Yarn, because Yarn screwed everything up. No. Get rid of that mess. Just use npm. Yarn was better than npm for all of 6 seconds. Okay, so it doesn't. You're not awaiting here. Okay, let's see. Sizes, new, doc and doc return. Okay, what? Wait, where's your example? Okay, because I mean, you got nothing here. You don't have anything here. All right, quit being a C programmer. This is JavaScript. We're not stuck back in the 60s. Okay? Look. Pages dot for each page. You're not doing pointer arithmetic. Stop pretending. Also, this is entirely unacceptable. Do not omit your curlies on things. Okay, so doc image pages index. Now we just need page. Oh. Page dot length. What? Okay, so you're just looking for the last one here. Right? So you're saying add page if it's not the last one. Swap this around. This is a lot easier to read if you do it this way. So if 0 is not equal to page num, then add your page before. So this is a common mistake, because when you're a programmer, you're not doing it. When you're programming, you have to think backwards. You have to think at the end and then work back towards the beginning. So you don't say, oh, well, I want to add the page at the end. You say, oh, what's the first thing I need to do? I don't know. Don't know how to explain it. But this is the trailing comma problem, essentially. Okay, let me see. Are you reviewing his code or mine? Wait, lol. I don't know. This is the code you gave me. You gave me this link. What do you want me to do? Huh? I don't know. What does TF mean? I don't know what that means. This is not the actual one. Well, then why did you give me this link? What is the code you want me to review? Anyway. Where's the image actually go in this? Look, I asked you for the link with the README. I said I don't review code without a README. You still didn't put a README here. You just gave me a link to somebody else's README. All right. You broke the rules. But I'm still going to take a look at this because we got it up on the screen. But you broke the rules. No, I did not mistakenly hit the NPM developer page. Check in the chat. That is the link that you gave me. I did not mistakenly hit it. I asked you for the link with the README, updated link with the README. You did not give me an updated link to your code with the README. You gave me somebody else's README. So you've broken the rules. You are canceled. But we're going to still go on with this anyway. Yeah, I've been pranked. I don't know. Let's see here. I'm gonna bring this back up. This right here. The link you gave me. All right, and if that's the code you're using, if this is the code you're using, then you just need to check people's code before you just start using dependencies. You need to at least click and see what's going on here, right? Because you literally just need to copy and paste this. This is not a dependency that you should be using. This is a code snippet. So anyway, let's see, what is the sizes thing? Okay, we'll get over to this. send index. What you need here is just use just use a normal web server for this. Just use Caddy for your static files. Don't pipe all your static files through Express. What you need is, if you need to, so for example with this, put /API in front of here, okay? So this should be /API/converter. That way you can host all your static files with Caddy, and then you can just have it reverse proxy to your API. Yeah, I wanted your code with a README. I said I don't do code reviews on code that doesn't have a README. I asked you to update your code with a README. And I gave you specific examples and said I need something that meets this criteria, that says what it does, says how to run it, has a demo. All right. Okay, don't do if else like this. Return when you're done with something. Okay. Files not uploaded. There's, yeah, no files uploaded. Okay. Converter. Await converter. What's converter? Converter. Oh, and also don't use app.listen. This is garbage nonsense. I've talked about this before, but hey Josh, do you know the clip where I talk about not using app.listen, using the HTTP server instead? That's one I should probably have handy for sharing. In this case, in this particular case, it probably doesn't matter, but you should just use the node HTTP listen, not the app.listen, because it's not compatible with the HTTP server. So it's frustrating. Oh, hey everybody, how's it going? I'm AJ, just roasting some code. All right, so I have to figure out what converter is. Destination, uploads. You should put that out to an env, just like your port number. Just put that, you know. Yeah, definitely you do not need this as a dependency. Whoops. You should just copy and paste those lines. Wait, where is it even used? Image to... You don't even use it. What? All right, let's go back over here to converter. Let's take a look at this. Okay, this is 3 lines long. So this is I mean, I don't know what your plan for this repository is, but red, green, refactor. Red means you have an idea, but you don't have working code. It's a no-go. Green is you have working code, and then refactor is once you've got the code working, you want to make sure that the code is something that can be handed off to your client or whatever. So I would say do not start off with the idea that you're going to need to put things in, you know, several different files. If you're doing something that's this small, if this is your web service, then just put that code right in here, because there's no sense in having to go back and forth between multiple files on that. Okay, what's this? This just has an updater. All right. So anyway, let me go back here in the chat and read what's going on. Whoops. Let me get this up out of the way-ish and bring this up and over. All right, so what is it that we're actually trying to do? Hey everybody, I'm AJ. I just got pranked XD. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Is that really what this is? You just said, "Hey, will you review my code? Send me some random repository." And that's it? Is that what this is? Because I don't, you've not articulated what you want me to do. You just, you know, what do you want? What do we do from here? What do we do? I don't know. I don't know what to do. This is taking some pages from a path, upload path, file path. Takes a file path. This only has one thing right now. Path to image buffer. So it renders 2 BTFs instead of 1 because you put 2 right here. You mean it renders 2 pages of a PDF rather than 1. It renders 2 pages because you gave it 2 pages. Look, there's 1 page, there's 2 page. So in the example, it's showing that you can, I don't remember which example it was. Maybe it was this one. Let's take a look here. So in the example, what he's showing is that you can have a path to an image, you can have the base 64 of an image, or you can have the buffer of the image. So his example is showing you can do this any of these 3 ways. So if you put the same image in 3 times, you're going to get the same results, because if you put in a path, then it's just going to call this for you. It's just going to call read file on the path. If you put in the data, then that's kind of a waste to have it in base 64. But if for some reason you had it in that format, whatever, you can use it. And then you can also use the buffer itself. So it's just showing that there's 3 different ways to get this, and you are using 2 of them. That is why you have that in there twice. Yeah. Hey, Elon, we'll get to you. Don't worry. I'm here all day. Let's see. And then Josue, where Josue was it No, Elon. Yeah, when are you available? You only marked 1 time that you were available, but I'll be available right after this. Okay, what are we doing? My guess, so sometimes it says PDF not loading. Once I refresh the page, it works again. Well, do you mean files not uploaded or what? You have here await converter. You should put in the file name or something there. Whatever. I guess this is so small, you can disregard my advice about Caddy. But you could just use the public server rather than doing this. You could Express has a static server. That's what I'd recommend you use for the static files, rather than doing this send file stuff. And then, yeah, I think that you should go take a course on Udemy or something about Express. I should upload a course to Udemy about Express, but I don't feel like this is really at the level of being able to do a good code review. Because I think that you're so new to this that I think you just need to hammer out some basics first. Yeah, my guess is that so in the await converter here. Yeah, this is why you're asking about async await earlier, isn't it? So you're not actually awaiting. So you call this, but you don't actually wait for it. And you create a write stream, but you don't actually wait for it to close. And that's why you're having that problem. Because what you need to do is you need to, so let's say, first of all, let fs dot, so you need your write stream. And I'm gonna update this a little bit here. So this is node fs, this is node path. So you use path.join, path. And then fs. Where was fs being used? Just in one place? Or whoops. Okay, so you just get rid of this. Which also, you don't want to do fs read sync what you need here, let's just get rid of this crap. All right. Converter. Get rid of all that nonsense. You'd want to do, let's image equals, what did I have here? And again, I'm going to tell, I already told you what I think you ought to do. Whoops. You ought to just copy that code from the other guy rather than using it as a dependency. Okay, but then you're going to await, oh, we need to do /promises. And then we also need fsync because they did not include the events in the promises API. So yeah, here basically you say read file. And then I think you need to give it something else too, don't you? Like what way you want to read it. I guess the default is buffer. So there, now you've got one page. Then you want to get your stream. This is, I mean, exactly what I was telling you before is exactly what needs to be done here. So there you've got create your read stream or create your write stream, and then you need to listen on rs close, and then you need to basically new promise. You, I guess in this case, probably return new promise function. Whoops. Function resolve reject, and then let's see, how should we do this? Yeah, I guess we have to do it this way. Or could we do it the other way? No, we need to, trying to think of the best way to do this. Return await P. Okay, because what we want to do here is say resolve. I don't remember what the events are, but there's a couple of different events that might fire. There's close, there's end. I think there's one more. And then you want to reject on error. So if there's an error, you want to reject on that. And then I don't know this image to PDF if there's you probably, I don't know if you're supposed to await on that or not, but since if you wait for the close event, then if you resolve when it's ended /closed, then you shouldn't have a problem, even if this should be awaited but isn't. It's the process itself is not fully complete until the out file is written to. And so that right there, that should be it. Fix. One image, whoops. Image per page. Wait until completion to respond. There you go. Okay, you don't want the user files to get stored. You want them to get deleted. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna take maybe another 10 minutes on this, and then you're on your own because I don't really know what this, what all this is. But this is more teaching you JavaScript than this is a code review at this point, which is fine. But I'm not clear. So I'm just going to be honest with you, right? You're some rando on YouTube. You're like, hey, help me debug this thing. You've got something. Obviously, you're just learning. Obviously, you don't have a lot of experience yet, which is fine. That's why we ask questions. This seems like something that actually is really high value. So I would imagine that somebody is probably paying you to do this, which is fine, especially if it's disclosed beforehand. But I don't want to do your work for you because I like to get, paid for the work that I do. So I just because I don't really know you that well and we don't have, a friendship established and an understanding of what the working relationship is. This is different from what my expectations were. Yeah, just started practicing 2 months back. Okay, well, this right here, to me, this seems like, is somebody paying you for this? This seems like something that, somebody's business would want this. And you say, oh, yeah, I'll create that for you. And you figure out how to do it. And if that's the case, good for you. Okay, so you don't want to store the files. Then the best thing to do is actually just take the pipe and then pass it in. Let's see if this, I would imagine that they probably in this, not image to PDF, but this one, yeah, in PDF kit here, they probably allow an input of a write stream. Yeah, okay. Pipe it somewhere. That's pipe it out. Doc.image. Let's see. Doc.image. Let's take a look at their documentation. What's my opinion on Rust? I'm just going to call you Wars. I'm going to call you Wars. I'm just going to take the letters right out of the middle of the username there. I think Rust has a good niche. I personally am more interested in Zig at this point. I think Go is a better general purpose programming language. Go is not a replacement for Rust for what Rust does well. But I think that Go is pretty much should be your go-to for just about any project you work on. Rust should be for the things where you have the constraints, where you need what Rust has to offer. And I think that Zig could fill in that space. Now I would be interested to see. Let's see. Let's go back to this. Yeah, but on your own, homework for you. Just copy and paste this thing. Don't use this as a dependency. Just copy and paste that bit of code that you need. Let's see. Go back to the converter here. No, it wasn't here. So what you need to do in the server, if you don't want to save these files, you don't need to redirect this either. You can get rid of this redirect. You don't need to put that file down. Rec.files.filename. What did you use for this? You got express static public. Multer, is that what you're using? You're using Multer somewhere? Upload. Let's see. Upload. Oh, okay. So there's your upload middleware. Right. So what you need to do is this Multer. I don't know what Multer is. I'm pretty sure I've heard about it. I think it's actually one of the newer ones. Surprisingly, there's some new modules that are catching on. Yeah. So my guess is that it gives you, along with the file name, it gives you the file data. So you don't need to write the file out. Let's see. Is that what it's trying to do? Is it trying to write the file out? Await converter file name. Okay, I'm a little bit confused by this. Await converter file name. So is Multer being set up to save to disk first? Because you could probably just have it configure it somehow to give you the streams. Maybe you need to use something different for that. If Multer doesn't allow you to get the stream, then you would not want to use Multer if you don't want to save the files. But you could just get the data for that thing and pass it along, hopefully as a pipe. The problem when you don't use a pipe is that it puts the whole file in memory. So if the file is, say, 2 megabytes, that's going to take more than 2 megabytes in memory. and then that limits you how many operations you can do simultaneously. Because if it, every operation is 3 or 4 megabytes, because often whatever the file size is, you're often going to be using a bit more. You also could, well, there's this thing called mmap, which is actually really, really efficient. A lot of people don't realize how efficient it is. I don't know if there's an mmap for Node. That doesn't matter. We're not talking about efficiency yet. But if you could, it would be best to pass the pipe. Max number of file fields. Let's see. Files. Okay. Files is an object. Field name is key. Yeah, I haven't used Multer. I don't know how Multer works, but you just need to figure out how to pass either the data of the file rather than the file name. Let me go back to this other bit and see here again. So you had it in converter. You take file path, upload path, file path, upload path is uploads. Did you configure that with Multer? Multer. Yeah, okay, destination upload. So I'm guessing that instead of destination, let's see, dest. Where to store the files. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really want to go through and look at, learn how to use Multer. But my guess is that it has an option to not save the file to disk. So I don't know what to do. I don't really want to look through and read all this stuff, but you can also, of course, just remove the file, right? So you can have it save it. Typically, you'd want it to be saved with a random name. I don't know if Multer does that automatically. Hopefully it would. Most of the ones I've used in the past do that. Yeah, disk storage engine gives you full control of storing ISK's destination. Yeah. File name, random name. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like it's doing the right thing. It just creates a random file. So you could just have this return, again, instead of having the output file, you could even return early on this. So you could, let's say we went back to that. Instead of having a promise on the converter, instead of having a promise on the converter, what you could do is you could just, take the read stream, let rs equals, and then you could return the read stream like that. That way you don't actually save it out, but hold on, let me think about this. No, you don't create a read stream. What do you create? You create a pipe. Let me see. In node, create buffer pipe. It's probably be from the stream package, not from the read stream package. All right, create read stream. Create write stream. No, that's not what we want. Pipeline. Create read stream. Promisify. Okay, stream pipeline. It looks like it's something like this. Whoops. And of course, log in to continue. No. where... Okay, let me just see. Do we have a pipeline? Pipe between streams. Yeah, so that's what we'd want to do. Maybe. I actually don't know how you create a true pipe, a read-write pipe in Node. Yeah, the coders are crunchy. Everybody's thoroughly roasted. No, you would not. You use fs remove, but you don't ever want to use the set timeout. You need to await. You said that you watched my other videos on promises, but I am not clear that you have. Did you really watch my other videos on promises already? So sorry, there's some chat that's going on just between me and Vishnu that other people can't see. So I'm responding to that as well. How to connect streams with a pipe. Maybe there's a way for this to give back a pipe rather than accepting a pipe. What was this? What was the method here called? Dot pipe. Oh, duh. All right, so this is returning a pipe already. So you just get rid of this and you get rid of this. There we go. Duh, I don't know why I don't know what I was smoking. It wasn't strong enough, that's for sure. Okay, so you could just do this, and then you're returning a pipe. And then once you're returning a pipe, you can just call res.pipe on that return, right? So, let's say, feet, return pipe, return the right pipe. All right, now whoops. Let me go back over here. Oh, I never finished those PRs, did I? Here, I'll just go ahead and, there. You could take a little bit from either of these. Okay, and then here, what you would do is you're not awaiting the converter because the converter isn't async. You're just getting the write stream from the converter, and then you would just do res.pipe, or rather, you would do write stream.pipe res, and that's that. You don't do false else statements. And then this is just, again, if this, just use the regular stuff. This one, you don't need that anymore. This one, you shouldn't need this either, because aren't you using public right here? So if you're using express.static public, then you don't need that. This is it. And then, like I said here, to do use HTTP. Anyway, okay. So I think I'm going to be done with this. Don't demotivate me that much. Well, look. I told you it was going to be scary. I literally called it a code roast. I don't know what you want me to say. But no, this was good for me because, you were talking about I should create some course material on promises and I kind of see what I could maybe do, or something I could maybe do here, because you brought up, going through this did bring up a couple of things. So this is more of a, we should have framed this as a teach me to code, not as a code roast. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. We need to talk about set timeout. We need to talk about events. We need to talk about callbacks. Yeah, I wish the promise had a different name. I wish that it was called something like event resolver, or better yet, event handler, or event. I don't know, something about events, because that's what it is. Promises don't make any sense. They're just this philosophical term. What a promise really is it converts an event into something that can be awaited. It converts an event into something that you can get the result from. That's what it does. Okay, so any questions? Please make courses. Think there's someone waiting for me to learn. Yeah, I want to do it. That's why I've got, the t-shirt and the hoodie. And, I've got lots of drafts of lesson material. I suck at the actual put this into a linear format. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. We're going to be done with this. I'm glad it was good for you. I'm glad that you got some benefit out of it. Don't take my criticisms too harshly. But yeah. Make a crash course. That would be amazing. Okay, I'm thinking about it. Josh is going to get on my butt about it and try to encourage me to get more baby steps done. Okay, so let's close this one out. Let's take a few minutes of break, and then who wants to go next, Josue or Elon? Yeah, so I just this morning, I just got rid of that little bit that, comes up and makes it super awkward on both sides. So yeah, I can't do the line because it's too sharp. But just take the little spiky do off, so I don't have two lines of beard coming up to my nose with the white stripe in between them. Oh, Cali girls want to know my location? Screw me, man. Please don't give it to them. Make them stay as far away as we can get them. Dear Cali girls, I voted for Trump. There we go. That should keep them far away. Shouldn't have to worry about that for a long, long time. Whew, dodged the bullet. Not to say that all California girls are crazy. But I don't have an alternative statement. All right. Have a good one. See ya. And we're out. Boom. Okay. So who's next? Josue? Elon? Which, chime in. Come on now. I'm serious. Which are we doing this or are we not doing this? All right. Oh, 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 oh. All right. You're going to have to rock, paper, scissors it because those messages came in within margin of error. Okay. So, let's see. Well, all right. Heads or tails? Heads. Heads is the front. Tails is the back. I'm going to flip the phone on the concrete floor here. Oh, it's tails. Who was tails? All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna paste. Um, yeah, it was tails. So it's Elon's up next. Elon, are you ready? See, just not saying anything had its advantages in this particular case. All right, Josh, we're gonna have to break this into 2 or 3 different videos. Okay. Where is Elon? Elon, where are you at? I'm looking for you on Discord right now so we can look at your project. And then Josue will do yours. There we are. Okay. So join on in. Got this one going. Actually, I need to bring that down here. Whoop. I'm going to share my screen. And then we'll move right along. Okay. Let me know when you're joined in. Well, I'll see you when you join in. Hey, everybody that's watching in. How's it going? I'm AJ. I'm doing some code roasts this morning. I was feeling generous after Thanksgiving, so. All right, Elon, where you at? I've got the chat link open. It's waiting for you. And we're going to look at Rust code, right? Is that what we're doing? We're doing a Rust roast? Hey! Elon, what's up, man?
Okay, am I audible?
I can't hear you. Speak up. Get closer to the mic.
No, no. Okay, so it's not audible at all.
Okay.
Is it audible now?
I can barely hear you. You are a whisper here.
Okay, let me try increasing the volume then.
Yeah, I've got my volume all the way up.
Alternatively, I can chat also.
Actually, oh, hold on. Let me check something on my end real quick because sometimes with the audio capture, it actually disables my whatever my volume was last at is what it gets stuck at. So I'm going to switch this real quick. Oh no. It appears that my volume is disabled. Let me see if I can. It says 100% over here. It says 100% over here. It says 100% over here. Let me see if I can turn this up a little more. All right, speak again.
Uh, yeah, I've also increased my output volume, so I think it should be fine, hopefully.
Yeah, I can hear you now. And Josue can hear you probably better than I can hear you because I think the audio capture did some funky do, and so my my volume. Oh, there we go. Okay, now my volume is probably too high. Great, excellent. Yeah, mine was down at like a third, so that was my bad. Okay, so where's the link to what we're looking at?
I think it's in the Discord also, or in the, I'm not sure where it is, but I'll send you.
Oh, content requests. I got it right here. Rusty Proxy.
Yep.
This is all right. So now we're switching over to Rusty Proxy.
The README is not as good, but I think it works.
Okay. To test, you'll need a TCP client. For each app, you can have a list of ports and targets. This is not enough information, but you've got an example config file, so I guess that's good. So we've got some ports. And so what is this saying? Is this saying that this is listening locally on this port, on these ports?
Yep. And it will redirect to one of these targets.
Okay, so I connect to port 5001 and it goes to TCP echo.fly.dev 5001.
Yep,
Or
yep,
maybe it
yep.
goes to this one. Does it load
Yeah,
balance?
yeah. Yep, it does I think it just does the round robin one, but
Okay,
yeah,
cool. That's awesome. All right. So I kind of understand what it does now. I think you should update the README and make it um, put a little config example and then show, say this round robins or whatever. All right.
I think it would be much easier if you just open the code. Yeah.
Well, first we gotta get an idea of what the code is. Okay, so I go into main here. Oh, you denied Clippy. Ouch. Dagger to the heart. Why did you deny Clippy?
I think Copilot recommended it.
Mm, AI bot doesn't want to be silenced. Okay. All right. Main. Okay. Get config. Get config is probably defined somewhere. Let's see. Get config. Oh, use config. Is config yours? Config is yours, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So make a clone of the config. Get some handles. Um, config.apps. I don't remember actually seeing that. Let me go back to that real quick. Okay, apps. You got to go lowercase on this. It's weird to have uppercase in a JSON file or title case. Okay, so that makes sense. So, and then the apps have names. Okay, so each of these is an app. They each have a name. Okay. Ports, targets for port and ports, target clone, handle push, start proxy. Okay, join all handles, await. Okay, so the joining of the handles is it's going to wait for all of them to have closed before it ends the
Yeah.
program. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So is there anything in particular you want me to take a look at, or you just want me to just go through and kind of see?
Like, like this is the first time I've written Rust code, so yeah. What does this look? Written by someone who knows Rust or by an
So
imposter?
I don't know. I'm an imposter. I already told you this. I don't really know Rust that well. But the one thing that hits me is you're doing a lot of clones, and it
Hmm.
seems like you probably don't need to. Oh wait, because you do want to pass this. So maybe do you need a mutable health checker
Yep,
here?
yep, yep. So what it does is, it's again part of the load balancer class, I think. So if an endpoint is not available to connect, it will reduce its weight to zero. So we do not get it in subsequent requests, and it will run in background every 5 seconds. So basically a health checker. Yep.
Hmm. There's probably a way to do this where you put more information in the health checker and have it have some methods that can um, borrow and modify. But I don't know because you are doing this spawn, so it's in different threads. So I don't really know. We're going to have another async Rust presentation at the start of the year at Utah Rust probably, but I have not really paid too much attention to the async await stuff because it's been such a moving target. But now that it's actually being implemented and standardized, I'm really interested to see how things have gone. But I know that a lot of times clone is just a cheat. It's like, I don't know how to deal with this memory issue, so I'm just going to clone it. In your
Yeah,
case
yeah.
where you're spawning different threads, it maybe it's the right approach. I don't know. I have almost zero experience other than a little example I did in the book with multi-threaded Rust. And a couple of times where I've done multi-threaded Rust where I had to deal with the threads, I found it to be confusing. So let's see. While let okay, listener accept await. Spawn. And this is not actually spawning threads. This is just spawning
One task, yeah. Singular task.
an async task. So it's going into a thread pool system, the async pool.
Hmm. Yep, yep.
Right. Okay.
All this
Which
is being handled by Tokyo runtime, so yeah, I'm not doing anything extra here.
okay.
I think that line
Um,
65 comment is need to be removed.
what's that?
The line 65 comment, I think that's not supposed to be there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, I'm no Rust expert by any stretch of the imagination. You probably can do more in Rust than I can. Um, because I did a couple of jobs in it, and I have not actually written Rust myself in probably over a year. Probably close to when Corona started was the last time that I actually wrote Rust code, and since then I've just been following and trying to keep up to date on what's happening. But um, and how new ways of handling things. I've really enjoyed um, when Clean Cut gives his presentations and demos. I ask lots of questions. Um, uh, People look at me like I'm stupid. I learn stuff.
Again, we connect to all the targets, and if any of the target is not available, we just set the weight to 0. And then I think the main class is the load balancer class.
Okay. And then this is just going to be
Yep, just for
distracting.
passing the config. Yep.
Okay, this is Saturday, yeah. So it's just using Saturday defaults. And then balancer. Yeah, sorry, I don't have enough experience to really um, say what is the
Roast.
right
Yeah.
way to do it. This looks fine to me. I think I'd have to dig in a bit more. But the one thing that I don't know if it applies in this case, but just my general understanding of Rust code is that cloning and making things mutable is kind of a cheat. Normally, you don't want things to be mutable unless you really, really have to have them mutable. And I still am not clear. Where was the? This is the. Hold on. Let me go back to the main file. Whew. All right. Git config. And does the config actually need to be referenced in multiple places?
No, I don't think
Then
config
why
needs to be referenced.
then why is the config have a clone?
Probably because the compiler told me some error is coming.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, what could be the alternative here? Because I think the error was somewhere along the lines that port, when I'm iterating on the ports and I'm sending the target and port to the start proxy function, I'm making a borrow. Like, what else? Because port is simply a number, and then targets is an array. So I think for targets we don't need a clone because it cannot be copied. But yeah.
Well, you can't modify these. I mean, they come from the config. Well, but you probably want them to be modifiable because you probably at some point want an interface for this where somebody can, click a button on a UI and then add new targets or remove targets without having to restart the service, right? Or maybe you just
Mm,
spawn up a new instance and not have dynamic config, have completely static config and say, hey, die when you can. Don't accept any new connections. And then spin up the new instance that does accept new connections. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Probably, I think we can watch for like the config changes instead of and then replacing it with a new config. Or like, am I making sense here?
I would not do that from the file system.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, that doesn't. So the architectural problem is either you need a method by which, because a server can be running without listening. So you can tell a server stop listening, but you can allow it to continue to handle any existing connections that it already has and then let it die out. So this is how a lot of web servers manage updates is that you don't and or can't generally update the config of the web server, but instead you spawn up a new instance of the web server with a new instance of the config file, and then you tell the other one to close listening, and then when all
Got it.
of the connections close, then its join is done, and there's no more handles, and then it dies.
That would make more sense, yeah.
Well, I'm not saying it would make more sense. I'm just saying that's it's an option because having the dynamic config, I think Caddy is now updated to allow this. I could be mistaken, but yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know enough to properly roast this, but I mean, I'd say good job. You figured out how to do something interesting in Rust, and this is you're familiar with my Telebit project, right?
Yep. I think that's it's like ngrok.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is essentially this is the basis of that is just the ability to be able to listen on a port, connect to another port, and then you have a pool of connections that are available. Um, it would be very interesting to me to rewrite Telebit in Rust because Telebit is I've already rewritten it in Go and I've just never actually redeployed the new version. It's running for a client, but I haven't. Meaning somebody that paid for the Go version, they have the Go version, and the Go version I meant to deploy it here, but this is still running the Node version, and surprisingly, somehow it still works. Um,
Hmm.
but it would be interesting in Rust because in Rust you get rid of all of the overhead and you can maximize the individual instance, which was something like Telebit is what you have to do because you're bound by the um, by the network. You only have what I'm trying to you you can't just scale it out because you're not doing request response cycles. You have to maximize how many connections you can have on each instance. But okay. Well, the person I would say that you ought to tag if you join the Utah Rust channel would be either Eric or Nate, and they would probably give you better feedback. So I'm going to just go into the Utah Rust channel real quick and then invite you. And it's Clean Cut and Eric are the two to look for. I'll just let's see. There we go. Did a soft invite there. All right. Well, you got off easy.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Got
expect to be
roasted.
so lucky next time. Come to me with some Go code or some JavaScript code, and then I'll properly roast you.
Yeah, I'm writing a client for this in Go as of now, so yeah, it'll be ready by Monday, I guess. So
All right, good. Then we could do some proper roasting.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
With that, let's see. Josue, are you still on? Are you up on the chopping block next?
Thanks, AJ. I'll drop off from this call. Bye.
All right.
Have a
Have a
good
good one.
day. Yeah.
Bye, Elon. All right, Josue. Let's make it happen. Boom. I'm joining. I'm sharing my screen. Um, I did it in the one-to-one chat on Discord. I sent you the link. And then I will go back to the Code Roast channel here to see what are we roasting today.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, Josue?
Doing great.
Good. All right, so what are we roasting today?
Okay, so my GitHub is just this name you can see here, Refer08. I have some projects there, but I don't know if you like one. Uh, yes. Repositories. Okay, so there's some like that's Bash, the updated that's Bash 2 speed test Python. So at the beginning, there's one that says BSORC and BSORC web. I think the web version because the other one is just a lot of C and Bash.
Okay, wait. You said
Oh, is there?
BSO? What?
Oh no, it's not there.
Oh, secret repositories. Oh, VS? Did you say BS or VS? They
Yeah,
sound similar.
it's that one, but there's supposed to be one that says web, like just that Visual but web. Oh no, then it's just Visual. There's a distro version that is another thing. That one, the one in the middle, says BS or RC.
All right. Okay, so this is what I should take a look at?
Yep. It's everyone read me because I have a 58 pages document about the project, but it's in Spanish, so
Not a problem.
oh, it's there. Yeah, I didn't realize I uploaded my.
Yeah, I understand words like friends, family, configure, connectar, bootear, la computador. Utilizar. I got this, man. Utilizar API. This is plain as English to me. Look, this project will be developed a distributed system whose nodes will be Raspberry
Oh
Pis
yeah,
version 1 or
the
3.
management summary is in English.
Yeah, so there's no problem there. Okay. Virtual software defined network over Raspberry Pi cluster. I have no idea what that means. All right, but
Okay.
this is a JS project, so I can properly roast you.
Yeah. So you want a small explanation on what it does on a general scale?
Nah. Yeah, I do. What is it?
So the Raspberry Pi cluster thing was just that I needed this to be hardware mounted. So put like 15 Raspberry Pis on a rack and some hardware into it. But it will as well work on any other kind of computer. But the thing is, with this I can simulate software-defined networks, so networks defined by software, and also soft containers, kind of computers. They're just Linux namespaces, so I can simulate any kind of network of real big sizes in a cluster of computers. And then, if you want, you could deploy that same thing that you tested into a real software-defined network that you have implemented. So that web is for controlling the real project that is Visual Distro. So you can go there and make networks, make them run, try and test some, like put some servers on the containers and test with some data.
All right, I'm out of my depth, man. So I've got a buddy, Ryan, who worked on webinstall.dev with me, works on webinstall.dev with me, and he would probably know exactly what you're talking about, but you're talking some hardcore IT stuff that is beyond my pay grade. But what should I look at in here?
So the biggest disaster is most likely just this part that is the web project, because I learned JavaScript in a half an hour video and then used that to make the web. So
All right. By the way, Josh, we are now in a different segment for the last 2 to 5 minutes or so. Okay, so yeah, this looks like copy paste boilerplate. So one thing, there's a different engine called ETA,
yes.
that I'd recommend using, not EJS. EJS is absolute garbage.
Oh, that's 2019, by the way.
What?
That's 2019, the
What's
year I made
2019?
this. So 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Like I'm not saying makes a big difference, but maybe there's some stuff that didn't even exist at that time.
Nah, nothing's. This is a very stale ecosystem. I mean, like you could be right, but see, look, initializations, middleware. I got this. For what I don't know what ruta means. Route is
Yes.
established and it becomes visible. Okay. Another thing I'd recommend. I mean, I say this all the time. Oh wait, why are you serving your node modules? That seems dangerous. Or maybe not dangerous as much as just odd. Why are you serving
that's because we needed to expose. There's one of the things that is on the node modules that is actually another server by itself, basically. And I wanted to temporarily expose that, but then I forgot.
Yeah, I would get rid of that.
By the way, I'm remaking this in Go. Like the
Okay.
whole web part is on the other one that says BSP web.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like half done. It's not complete.
Okay. So first off, here I would say just for development purposes, have one static server and put everything under /public, and all of your API stuff put under /API. This is the same thing that I told Devishnu earlier. Don't avoid using Express as much as possible in terms of the weird stuff that it does for the weird configuration crap it does. Learn about the Node HTTP stack and just use HTTP where it makes sense. So I don't get what the purpose of setting your port into Express is. Just set it on HTTP. When http.server create server, you handle it, or you send it a handler, which app is, and then you call
Also,
.listen on that.
I get that, but there's some stuff in there that I might not remember exactly which stuff that have very specific purposes because we have like multiple backend servers that intercommunicate. Because
Well, this one we could.
the way
we could probably look and see. We could just look for get port. And whoops. Let me try this.
oh no, they're not, like some of those servers are on the other project because they're part of the as you remember, this is just a front end, quote unquote, for the real project.
Okay. And then I'm going to say in general, just create APIs. Again, if you have data, just put, or is this, are you even using EJS at all here? Include partials, headers, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just including some stuff, nothing else.
Yeah, I'd say just make that part of your build step, that it just puts it in there, because there's no need, because these static assets are not changing. If it doesn't change from one visit to the next, if you don't have a particular reason for having it change drastically from one visit to the next, just make that part of a build step with something like Hugo, for example, rather than having it be something that every single time you get a request on your web server, you're re-rendering the same thing that you just rendered. Although I guess it does have some caching when you do node environment equals production. That's one of the things that's in the Express documentation, but probably very few people do, is that you actually should set node _ env equals production for
Okay.
Express to change some internal options. And one of them is the way that it caches. Okay. So these are basically just static pages. So that this is not. Oh, good heavens. Someone give that man a style sheet. What is this, a React app?
No, it's nothing. There's no framework in there.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you've got 2,000 lines of CSS just to say we need to create an archive. Okay. Yeah. We're going to write, which will write a script in Bash and desire to see the client. Deseamos. That's desire, right?
Is that access.js? .js?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what happened with access is just we made kind of an instructional manual in I don't know if it was Markdown or what, and then I just exported it to HTML. That's why there's a lot of styles that was just imported from Pandoc, I think. I used for exporting that manual.
And then here, I'd recommend that you separate. Well, one, don't use res.render at all, because for stuff that doesn't actually need to be re-rendered, you could just use some, pick your flavor of static site builder, but keep the stuff that's HTML stuff separate from the stuff that's API stuff. So put this back over in the other file, for example. I do like that you have a router that's separate. I think that's actually really good. So back here in the index, you set up Express, and then I would, again, just scope any sort of parsing that you do closer to where you need it. Put /API in front of there or whatever. But I do like that you are setting up some of the more, global non-API type stuff, and then you require the routes. You don't need to put index there. You should just be able to put /routes.
Okay.
If you're going to put, you've seen me do this. I say, if it's a directory, put a /. If it's a file, put a .js. Don't leave room for ambiguity. It's not worth saving 1 to 2 characters to have ambiguous requires that will, one day bite you in the butt for some reason.
Oh yeah, I see. If I were to put another directory in there to was called index, that will be a mess. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you probably wouldn't put one called index, but yeah, I mean, that I've seen that happen. I think that's fairly common. Okay. What's going on here? Oh, I think that is, I might have to call that back later. Okay. Put your requires all up at the top. Don't put the requires down in here. And then let's see with this one, man, tomato, potato. I prefer to asyncify these, like to promisify these.
Yeah.
I think I have in the AJ script. I could be wrong. Let me check and see here.
I didn't even knew about promises up until like a year after I did that project.
Okay. Well, I need to get this on as one of the examples on the AJ script, because this is pretty. Actually, I think exec even has. I don't think I have to do that. I think that Node's latest version has a promises version of exec. Let's go take a look at the Node docs. I mean, most of the stuff that I'm going to give you feedback on is stuff that's already in my video on express routing.
Okay.
And you've watched that, haven't you, or no?
No, not that one.
Okay, let me check and see. I think this is on Beyond Code as an educational video. Let's look for it. Express. Yeah. Async await, promises, and error handling. That is...
Oh, nice.
Well, hello, and welcome. Most of the feedback that I'd give you is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in here. And then async router, which I think I referenced that in this video, but let me check on my other channel here, because this may have been one of those one-off videos that didn't make it. Express. Oh, here we go. This one's another good one. I should probably. Let's see. So let me know if the presentation. Oops. When was this from? 2021. So I don't know. I know the one that I just sent you was a particularly good one. And then was it let's see if I can find one on router. Router no. Async promises. Let me go back to this channel again. Okay. I know there's also another video, but if you check out async router, it's actually at root async router. Here we are. Oh yeah, it's the same video. So it is that video. So this This will show you how you can clean that stuff up. And supposedly, I don't know. I don't think Express 5 is ever going to be released, but a lot of people started using the beta because it actually has this built in. It's basically a 50-line code wrapper over top of the Express router, so it's not a different router. It's just wrapping it so that it works with promises. Oh, and then I was gonna look at child process, Promisify. I thought there was a slash promises here. No, I guess not. But they even have some examples in the documentation how you could promisify that. And then I don't think that you have an error handler in here, do you?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, so that's another thing that I talk about. Let me go back. I'm going to throw this video in there as well. Express done right. So let me copy this link. So put that into the chat. So you need to have, well, you should have an error handler up at the top level, because generally, well, I don't see any error handling in here, just kind of scrolling through.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
I know I didn't put any.
Yeah. So if you have a top level error handler and you're using async router, then whenever there's an error, at least the request will end, and then the user will get the basic error message. There was, there's going to be a 501, could not read property X of undefined, whatever. So at the base level, you get that rather than it just hanging and then just doing nothing. Let's see. So you're doing a bunch of execs here. Also, you're calling res.send, and a lot of times on stuff that is if it's text, call res.end. If it's JSON, call res.json. Res.send, I think, is one of the dumbest ideas ever, because it doesn't tell you what your intent is. Are you intending to send this as JSON, or are you intending to send this as text? Res.send just obscures that away, and senselessly so. There's no benefit to using res.send. So I would say,
which one's the one for text?
Res.end, END, end.
Okay.
Yeah, they wanted to have res.send multiplex and handle all the things, but res.pipe, res.end, res.json, and then if you need to use res.pipe, you may need to set headers as for what the type is.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted text for most of those. I think for all of those, I was sending text.
Okay. And so all of these, you don't have any user input going into any of these, right?
Nope.
Good.
Well, there are some that are with some black magic right into a FIFO file.
Oh.
They're somewhere around there. There's a process that I start with a new file descriptor so it doesn't hang, and then put the file descriptor into a FIFO and then the output to another file. And then when I want to read, I read from the file, and when I want to write to it, I write to the FIFO, and when I want to end the process, I just take out the file descriptor, the third file descriptor. That's around there too.
Okay, well, I mean, all of this looks really simplistic from the perspective of you're just doing the same thing over and over again with slightly different strings.
Most of those.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I tried to move everything to the language I knew. So some of the stuff is just calling some other scripts that are in Bash that are in the other project. I'm trying to change that on the new Go version, though.
Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do because it looks like a lot of the stuff you're doing here is system stuff.
Yes, it is.
And so, I mean, POSIX shell is kind of the right tool for the job when you're dealing with system stuff. So, with Go, you do have a lot more access to system things like process lists, but then you don't necessarily get all of the same data. So, if you know this is only going to run on Linux, then
Yes, it is only going to run on Linux.
then I'm not even necessarily going to say you should try to implement these in Go because you're doing things that are highly system specific. You should use POSIX tools to do POSIX things.
Yeah, but what I mean is, I'm trying to take the data from the POSIX shell, but then trying to clean it out in Go instead of cleaning it out directly with a bash strings. You can see there that I'm using a lot of cuts, sets, awks, whatever to clean the data.
Yeah.
Think to do that directly in Go.
Well, I definitely say get rid of the aux for sure, but the other stuff, because this my problem with awk, and I think you've heard me say this before. My problem with awk is that awk is a separate programming language. It is a programming language.
Yes, it is. I have a book. I have a awk book.
Yeah, and I just
reading.
don't. I think it's. I understand that it is a language that's specifically designed for text processing. I just don't think there's a place for that in the modern world. I think that we have so many better options now that to have an old esoteric language for text processing just doesn't make sense when you can call .split .for each. And I know some people like the terseness of it, but I hate it because nobody can read it. Nobody can know what it's doing. Anybody can you can write it easily in 2 seconds. That's a lot easier to write if you know it, but then to understand it, you got to go read a book.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I prefer to do some multiple pipes to set and grep than doing one awk thing.
Yeah,
because
that's
I
me.
know that when I read it again or someone else is reading my code, they're not going to really understand what's going on with it.
Yeah. And where you're in control of the environment, I'd recommend using RG and SD. But
no, I want this to be like, as you can see, there's a thing that is called distro. I want the distro to be like easily streamlined, as in the sense of trying to get Debian and then put as little tools into that Debian as you can.
Right.
So I didn't want to install anything that was outside the system.
No, I understand that. I get that. Stick with the POSIX tools. Makes sense. Anyway, so here with your going back to the code here with your try catch, JSON.parse is one of the few things where try catch is perfectly acceptable, makes total sense. However, here it's completely unnecessary because if you had an error handler, if your JSON.parse failed, then this would just bubble up to your error handler. And you're not really doing anything special in this case. So, let's see, status. I don't know. This is not.
That try catch is just I didn't want the process to end when that happened.
Well, yeah, but if you have an error handler, then so there's two things. One, you need to use a promisified version of exec, and two, you need an error handler.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I didn't tell you is like that web page is supposed to be accessed by just one person at a time.
You can also basically create an event system where you just use a promise sequence. So if you take one promise, I'll let me write this out. It's easier to write it out than it is to talk about it. So let's go to temp and I'll say pchain.js. So let p equals promise dot resolve, right? So now I have p as a promise. So I can have a function that's add work to queue. my P is basically my Q. So if I want to only allow doing one thing at a time, here. Let's say this is a function that's some sort of async function. Then what I could do is say P equals P dot then this right here. And then that's it. That's my add work to queue. So what this will do is it will create an uninterrupted chain so that anytime that I go anytime I go to add a function onto the stack, this promise is the result of the previous promise and then the next amount of work. So if I want to know when that amount of work is done, I can just return that promise. So I could do like this, but it keeps the chain going so that only one piece of work can be done at a time. There's never going to be two pieces of work done at a time.
If like I have some buttons I have like that I have to disable some of them while one of the things is working. If I had this, I wouldn't have to do that. I can just let them click everyone, and I know they'll execute after the others are finished.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll be great.
And then another way we could do this is you can have a bunch of promises, and then you could say, this is the category that this function goes in. You could say let P equals promises, or I guess it would actually be like this. If not promises, whatever the category name is, then promises category equals promise.resolve, like that. And then here do let P equals promises cat, and then do the same thing. And so this would, so this is, if you just have one single stream of events, it doesn't matter what it is, you're only allowed to do one thing at a time. Then
and there's
this is
multiple queues per category of, yeah, nice.
Yeah, but if there's certain jobs where you say, well, this category jobs, anything that is, of job type X, only one can be done at a time. Anything that's of job type Y, only one can be done at a time. But between jobs X and Y, any X type job and any Y type job can run simultaneously. That's where you could use something like this.
Yep. That would have been great. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
So if I was going to refactor this, actually, let me just go ahead and do a little bit for this one in particular. So let me just go ahead and copy this. I'm going to go into my temp directory, git clone, bloop. Okay. Yes or C. Nope. What?
What's D? Is you push, just push. Oh yeah.
Oh, I see what I did there. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to routes here. Dot star var dot star require what was the other one? Child process? No, exec. And then up here,
Sorry for what?
was it node sys or is it something else? Was it
I am not sure which one I was using. I think it's Node 6.
I don't know if Node sys is a thing. I don't know what sys is. What is sys used for?
Yep,
I
it's
don't.
just this.
I don't think you ever use it.
I don't even know why I did that now that I see it.
Okay, so wait, why did this not work? Oh, because I need to escape these. That's why it didn't work. Okay. Child process.exec. Okay. Node child process.exec. Child process. There we go. Wait, why does this require sys still here?
Maybe I wrote it differently.
No, I just. There you go. Boom. I mean, there's a big thing, and just get rid of all that extra junk. Oh, but I'd have to fork this to rat. Okay. Git remote add j6 git push dash u oops, did that wrong. What? All right, why is it complaining? Find a branch. What? I'm so confused. Why? Oh, I guess I have to do it from mine. That's why it's that's why it's complaining. I have to do the pull request this way. There. So that's what I would do. Now I've done it.
Nice.
So let's go back in here. Views, routes. Yeah, I mean, there's not really. Look, this is dumb. This is boring. There's not much really going on here. You're just execing over and over again. What you should have done is wrote an exec function that handles things in a generic way, gives you back the data that you need,
Yeah.
or an error, and then you just every single one of these would just
Mind
be.
taking a look at the Go version? Like,
yeah, I'll take a look at
there's
the Go
nothing
version.
implemented basically. I'm just trying to decide on the architecture and what to do.
Okay, where's the Go version?
So it's just there and BSCP web. It's just there. BSCP web.
What? VSCP web. This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man. Ugh. Install the flip and go tools. Install them. Okay. Get yourself some good old, Vim Go. Get yourself some Vim Essentials. And then some Vim Go. And let's see what else we got here for Go.
Yeah, I don't have. I
install
don't.
Go
I
this way.
actually don't have Go configure on my Beam. On my Beam. Dot files at all. So it was just linting, like no syntax highlighting.
Yeah, well, you need the whole reason you use Go is because I mean, well, there's lots of reasons you use Go, but it's a whole self-contained thing. It does everything for you. It formats for you. It
Yep.
lents for you. So get that stuff going. Let's see. Do we have the conference videos up? So terrible thing may have happened. Josh, will you reach out to Mariah and see if she can get just the audio so that we can pair the better audio with my conference talk and republish it? Thanks. Okay, so we're gonna have to go off of mine because they have not uploaded the videos. I think that they had a problem where they lost some stuff. Let's see. Go. Where maybe it went on the Beyond Code channel after all. I don't remember. I don't think it did because I think. Let's see. Go west. Nope. Let's see. Go west. Hello, Go. There we go. So this one right here. The problem is the audio ended up being really bad because I was recording the audio and then they had me on a microphone, and so I was coming through the speakers. I probably should have but I had to be on the microphone because that's how they were recording their audio. And so, but it was coming back through the speakers, and so it was creating this kind of triple echo. But this is actually, where is that? I think that was the original one 3 months ago. No, there should be one from a month ago. I don't know what happened to it. But we should actually have one from just a month ago. Because three months ago was, hold on, we're in November. So October. Yeah, that was
I do
August.
remember that talk that you uploaded, and you said you were going to change the audio.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it in the Discord real quick. Or let me try Prezos. Do I have it here? Hello, Go. Is this the old one? Or the updated one? Audio looks good. I think this is the old one. I don't know what happened to the new one. That would suck if the video got lost too, if it was only on, for example, if it only recorded on Twitch. Oops. Golang. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm worried it may have only gotten recorded on Twitch, in which case it might be gone forever.
Huh.
Uh-oh. Well, Josh, if you can help us out with that, that would be great. Or I wonder if maybe I have it marked as unlisted so that I could send it to people, but not everybody else can see it. So I'm going to look for this one more time. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing that up is because it's got kind of a brief on the different tools and just kind of how to get set up and started. All right, so let's go through here. You've got your server, it's got a router. You're using Qi, that's good. Okay.
All of the commented stuff is because I haven't implemented it yet.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
wanted to
there's
separate them on multiple routers.
there's no point in me looking at this. There's nothing here. There's nothing for me
Yeah,
to
that's
look
what I
at.
was saying. I was just changing. I'll go again and just execute a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to separate some different routers and
Yeah.
but
I like.
since
I mean, you probably went to Chi at my suggestion, or maybe because it's
yep.
one of the most
Actually, I
popular
was using
frameworks.
Mux, and then I asked you
Yeah. So
everything.
I think Chi is great. I think the way that it allows you to group. So there's some problems that I've talked about with routing, where all the reasons that you ought to put things under /API so that you can get your middleware set up in a logical way. Well, if you fail to do that, or if you need some weird exception, Chi allows you. I think it's called group. It allows you to set up middleware for a group despite the route. So um, it's kind of like Express if you were to create another router almost, but you
Okay.
can just do it with the group keyword. So I don't recommend trying to find ways to use it, but sometimes in a pinch, it can help you
Yeah,
to do things a little better.
I think I'll learn Go in my new job.
Yeah.
Real Go.
And there's so much of this that I'm imagining is so similar.
Yep.
I wonder if you couldn't just generate it. Come up with a key value pair of this is the endpoint name, this is the script that it needs to run, and
Oh,
just
so and then just do a lot of scripts with the same names as every route instead of writing the script in there.
no, so go has go generate, and also you can just do it with other tools, but sometimes if you have lots of really similar code, you can create code to generate the code, so it just becomes part of your build step. So it still would get committed to the repository and it would still be what runs, but then I don't know. I forget I said it. I don't know whether or not it would apply to this, but it's just you got so much stuff that looks like it's going to be pretty similar. It might be easier to generate it than to copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Let the Go generate tool do the copy and paste for you.
Yeah, I had to do that. At least that is there. I had to do it manually because I had to think through like what thing belongs to what router.
What thing belongs to what router? What?
Yeah.
Oh, let me get back here. What do you mean?
As you can
Because
see
of
in
the health router, controller router, management
yeah,
router. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
that's why that's there. And like, I had to open the other code on the side and see what if I had to rename and move to another router. But yeah, that's the thing. I would like someone to roast the rest of the project, but I don't think like that's just huge thing with scripts and C and Python and Bash and
Right. I don't know. I mean, it's programming languages are meant to solve problems that could be solved by programming languages, and you can't solve system specific problems in a programming language without writing very system stuff. Anyway, I don't know. I've got nothing more to say.
yeah, but that
There's
helped a
not
lot.
there's not really enough here for me to
Yeah, I
y'all
had
ruined
to,
my code roasts. All of you ruined my code roasts. You all suck.
go check my other repositories to see if you find something weird.
No, I'm done with you. I've got other things to do with my life. You had an opportunity. You wasted it.
So
It's
you want
gone.
us to have worse code so you can roast it better?
Well, at least more interesting code,
I
because
think
what with this one, all I can do is roast the same thing over and over again,
I
because you
think
just
Eluas, this guy that I sometimes have on the chat, he's your
yeah.
man. he has a lot of like web things that going on with some crypto projects and some other personal projects. I'll go talk him for when you do this another day.
Okay. I'm gonna take this and add
Because
this to
at the
my
end, I'm not a software developer.
UIT guy. All right. Well, I'm gonna go get some lunch or something. I got plenty of food left over from yesterday. I need to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for joining in. But no thanks for not giving me any variety of. I mean, you just made the same mistake over and over and over again about what 50, 70 times.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not interesting. So, but thanks anyway. Have a good one.
Good for you. Bye.
All right. Bye. Okay. I don't know if we're gonna do these code roasts anymore. We need to go back to just either learning together or or higher quality code reviews. Well, unless somebody says otherwise, unless somebody drops in the comments and says, "I love this. This is my favorite thing ever. I share it with all my friends." I don't think that's going to happen. But hey, yeah, and stuff. Dang it. I really want to figure out what happened to the Hello Go. Let me see. Go West. General. Oh, okay. I found the Go presentation. Thank heavens. Here it is. Hello Go. A grand tour of tooling. All right. So I'm actually gonna see if I can. Just 1 second. I'm going to find somebody for us to raid. Just 1 second. Okay, let's see. Hey everybody, how's it going? All right, so code roast fail. And I'm going to go ahead and say keep the content requests coming in the content request channel on Discord. Let me make sure that we plop up that link again real quick, and I am going to see who is RWX Rob. All right, we're going to raid him. Unless, let me check and see a couple other people here. I don't think any of them I actually follow. All right, well, we'll go raid our RWX Rob. Pew! Rip code roast. Let it be known, my code was unroastable. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for joining in. Catch you later. Adios.